Hello, welcome to YouTube. Welcome to YouTube, shut up your fucking dick. What's happening YouTube? My name's Chris, this is a new channel. This is the first video, hopefully of many, so I would appreciate if you could hit the subscribe button, notifications for when new videos go online, and if you like the video, hit like. But today, first video like I said, we are going to be talking about Puma. Specifically Puma Hoops, Puma basketball, what they've been doing recently. But there's another reason for doing this video, apart from the Puma side of things. Living in Scotland, apart from it being cold, it's got its challenges in regards to basketball. There is a growing basketball community, but when I was younger, there was very difficult to get hold of basketball trainers, basketball jerseys, this kind of thing. So over the years, it's obviously became a lot easier, and I feel as if nowadays everything's so easy to get a hold of, new shoes, new jerseys, that sometimes we get a wee bit caught up on it. Specifically brands like Nike, Adidas, collaborations with some shoes, that kind of thing. And I feel as if some companies or some brands, some shoes, they don't get the recognition. And that was one of the reasons why it's kind of been a wee bit more inspired to do this channel and specifically do these videos. I think we need to give credit where credit's due, first and foremost. And the basketball community is obviously quite a close-knit community in regards to games, kind of keeping in touch socially, etc. And I think word of mouth and helping things grow and take off to the next level, regardless if it's coaching somebody that's young or new to the game, or introducing products into the game that are actually value for money, you know, then that's something that has to be kind of spoke about more. I think we get caught up a wee bit too much on Jordan, Nike, Adidas, just to name a few brands. So yeah, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, was purely because I wanted to bring a wee bit more attention to Puma. The second reason for doing the video was I'm inspired by a lot of the guys such as Nightwing at Wear Testers. You've also got the Soul Brothers channel, Geronmon. That's just a couple of the guys that I watch. They do a great job. I really enjoy watching all their videos, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go at it, see what I can do, see what kind of reaction I get from you guys, the viewers. But first and foremost, I'm really just kind of wanting to bring a wee bit more attention to the basketball world, or the area of basketball. It doesn't really get spoke about very often. And I've got a number of videos in my head, or ideas that I've got in my head that I would like to go forward with. So the first real thing that made me get involved or start buying Puma basketball trainers was I had an issue with my foot, my right foot specifically. First met a tarsal bone, but I found it really difficult to find a trainer or a basketball shoe, more importantly, that was comfortable. I wasn't really finding ones that were giving me the impact protection I needed or anything like that. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a chance really, and that's what I did. I took a chance on the Puma Clyde Court Disrupt. Not this. This was one of the later models that came out in colourways. The first one I took was the Energy Red. I think it was the Red Blast. Really bright neon colour with a yellow trim on the ankle collar. The main reason for it was not just that I've kind of intrigued by the shoe. It was a new shoe in the market at the time, and I thought, you know what, like, if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to buy it, I'll buy a couple. So I bought a 7.5 size 8. I watched a couple of reviews early on. I think Wear Testers was one of them. And when I seen the video, I was a wee bit dubious about sizing. Bought a 7.5 size 8. And when I received the shoe, I was really surprised. The first thing I noticed was how soft the knit was. I thought that was really nice to touch. But when I had the issue with my foot before I had my operation, I would always try a right shoe on. That was the issue. My right foot was the one that was giving me issues, so if it wasn't comfortable with my right foot, that was it. Never bothered. Trainers, basketball shoes, didn't matter. The soon as you put the foot in this shoe, straight away you feel the padding on the underside of the knit. The heel cup brings you right to the very back of the shoe, specifically when you lace it up. And the other benefit of the foam on the underside was that when you pull the laces tight, you didn't really feel the laces kind of digging in or anything. You got a nice bit of protection from that. So Puma own the rights to Boost, but they introduced their own stuff, the Energy Beads and Ignite foam, and that one this is so soft. Like, you don't really feel it because it's caged on the outside, so all you're feeling right there is the hard rubber of the outsole. But as soon as I put my right foot in and I went with the 7.5 UK because it tends to run a little bit big, I thought, you know what? I thought, yeah, this will do the job. You know, I thought this was nice. So played a couple of pickup games, trained with local teams and stuff like that a couple of times, and it felt really nice. I didn't really have too much issues with my right foot. I had arthritis in my foot at the time. There was a cyst in there, a lot going on, but the impact protection was great. You know, I was able to get up and down the court no problem. So shout out to Puma for that. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it. But the whole idea of this new shoe coming to the market kind of took everyone by surprise. Not a lot of people were talking about it in the way I felt that it should have been spoke about. A lot of people kind of slagged it off for being, oh, it's Puma, you know, and it's not going to meet the big guns in Nike, you know, and anyway, mate, settled in. But for the first shoe, kind of reviving the 70s Clyde line, was brave. And to give them their due, they've done a really, really good job. The only thing I didn't really like too much on it, 100%, was something that's quite common on people's views on it, was the traction. It was okay, it wasn't the best, but for a first attempt at reintroducing themselves into the basketball market, no, they done a great job. Lockdown was great, didn't really have any issues with that. Got a little bit of assist with the kind of the outsole kind of coming up over the top here. It was just helping you kind of contain your foot. And yeah, like I'm so impressed with it. You know, I got the Halloween one sent over from America from a friend. Shout out to Rick, by the way, he sent me a few, much appreciated, bro. The Miami Vice colourway, that was a really popular one. These ones came out later, they were the core ones. I actually customised the outsole side to make it black because Vince Carter had that Puma shoe when he first came into the league in the NBA. And that was the closest thing that I've seen, so all I've done was it was originally white and then I just painted it black, and I think it turned out really nice. I'm not the best at customising trainers, but I gave it a shot, worked out using the Angelus stuff, so shout out to Angelus, nice stuff there as well. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, first shoe, spot on. Really, really pleased with that. I thought it was a really, really good introduction after so many years of not being in the basketball market. Then they brought out in the Clyde line the Clyde Hardwood. This was this kind of cemented, in my opinion, Puma's right to be in the basketball market. People that reviewed the shoe that were saying it was like one of the best shoes of the year, and I couldn't agree more. There's nothing else to be said apart from that, to be perfectly honest. The shoe has taken elements of the original Clyde in regards to the design language. Elements of the Clyde Court Disrupt from the front half of the knit, which worked really, really well in the Court Disrupt, and it's worked again even better in the Clyde Hardwood. I'm a sucker for low tops, so this struck a chord. The back half of the shoe has got some really nice plush materials, all of them, including the pink, the metallic colourway, the green. I've got the black ones up there as well. They all have the leather on the back half. There is another couple of other colourways, but I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure they're the same though. And again, it's just, it kind of brings back the kind of 90s, 80s, 70s nostalgia. The materials that were used, it's very hard wearing, and just you feel that you've got a bit of quality in your hand rather than like kind of synthetic materials, you know. So it feels really nice. So yeah, so when you're flexing your foot in the front half, it's nice and smooth because of the knit. There's no real issues there. The traction's fantastic. You've got a good bit of herringbone there, and you've got this kind of outsole curling up round the front for the forefoot gives you a little bit of kind of traction if you're dragging your foot. On this side here, you've got a nice little bit of swed, there's a little bit of security for when you're kind of coming to a dead stop to keep your foot locked down. Laces go that wee bit, it looks like they go a wee bit extra further at the front, and again it's nice, just a nice design touch more than anything. Lockdown was perfectly fine in the shoe, I never had an issue with that. And the actual midsole itself, it kind of cages the same way as the Disrupt. So this was one of the things that a lot of people had brought up in videos and reviews, was they felt the Pro Foam was a bit stiff, a bit kind of firm. I like it. The reason why I like it is, one, I've got an issue with my foot, so I'm still kind of nursing that when I have to, you know, so that gives me that bit of impact protection, but again, it's my opinion, it's not necessarily going to work for you. On the medial side, you've got the swed bit there as well, and it exposed the Pro Foam here, so when you touch the Pro Foam, I mean, it feels soft enough, you know, but I think probably because it's got this element of being caged, like the Clyde Disrupt, it might not give it the room it needs to flex and get the real kind of responsiveness you need. It's not a bad thing, it just means that obviously it's just a wee bit more solid, rock hard in the bottom end of the shoe. The TPU is something that I kind of overlooked at first, but then the more I thought about it, I thought, wow, that's actually been done pretty well. So in the Clyde Disrupt, I spoke about the shoe being, when your foot's in the shoe rather, you kind of get locked in at the back when you tie the laces up, and that kind of hugs you in there. This is kind of similar, although this is quite soft at the top, this little kind of TPU part here, it's not a full heel cut, but it does a great job of keeping the base stable, so that when you get your laces tied up tight, it does keep you kind of locked in, which is great. This colourway is the Dreamville colourway, J Gold label, and again, my friend over in America was so grateful to get these sent over, because being in Scotland, like I mentioned earlier on, it can be a wee bit tricky getting shoes and stuff, you know. So this is the next one in the Clyde line. This kind of came out of the blue. It never really got mentioned very much in regards to when it was coming out, etc. When it did come out, as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow. I thought, I know this, everyone, like, aesthetics for some people in shoes is a very personal choice, what type of shoe you're after, is it a high top or low top, you know. So in all honesty, when I saw this, I just thought, wow, that's right up my street. Again, I'm a sucker for a low top. So yeah, this came out and bought it straight away, and there's a big difference is the weight. The first thing you notice is how light it is. When you put the shoe on, it's got a very nice orthotic insole, so, or sorry, an off-light insole, so it's really soft when you first put your foot in. When you're walking around in it, another thing, we've got tiles downstairs, so when we put the shoe on, the traction is just, it's just insane, man. You know, I just knew right away not going to have any issues when I went on a court. So that was the first thing, and the second thing, inside it's got the Pro Foam Plus, Pro Foam Light I think it's called. So in regards to the cushioning setup, it is super soft. As soon as you put your foot down and you start putting your weight, it's just kind of, oh man, it's kind of like, not memory foam, but like it feels super lush, super lush. And there's a TPU shank in there, there's a carbon fibre shank, and what it is, it just kind of gives a bit of rigidity to the shoe, so you're not going to kind of get any sort of torsional twist kind of thing. And then we've got a P-Bags puck in the back, and when you look through it, it kind of looks like Boost a little bit, but it's actually P-Bags, which is, again, it's just a really nice cushion setup. But probably the most intriguing aspect about this shoe is the materials. The first two they had the knit in the Clyde line, but what they've done is they went for a Matrix Evo knit textile, but because it's got different elements in this, then you could probably just say it's like a new type of kind of like a knit, very similar to like a, probably close to saying it's like Puma's version of the 90s battle knits, something like that, something very hard wearing. All the lines in different colours, they're actually just exposing the different materials that are being used. And the carbon stitching is really used in the areas that need a wee bit more protection. a wee bit more kind of security for things like lockdown, pressure on the shoe when you're cutting, running, coming to a dead stop, etc. So round here specifically, the blue here is just to give you a wee bit more security for when you come to a stop, or when you want to kind of jab, or when you want to go change your speed when you want to cut and things. But in regards to the back areas here, there's a lot of crisscross action, and although the internal part of the shoe is very soft, there is a plastic heel counter there. There is a lot of padding around the ankle area, but when you've got the laces tied up, this kind of like crisscross section materials is only really there for stability in regards to a wee bit more protection around the heel for lockdown purposes as well. So it does look similar to a Kobe shoe in regards to the silhouette and the shape, the low cut aspect of it. But it's not a fake Kobe. I mean, come on guys, like, give Puma the respect, and you know what I mean, it's its own shoe, it's its own design, it's from the Clyde line. They're doing a completely different thing from what Nike have done in the past, and I think that's a wee bit harsh. I mean, saying it's a fake Kobe, oh man, it's just a shoe, you know what I mean? So don't get too uptight in it.
It's just a shoe.
Yeah, in regards to the shoes themselves, this is taking a step in the right direction. I didn't think they were going to change too much from the Clyde Hardwood, because it was a rock solid performer and really nice addition to the basketball shoe collections. But this is just like totally new direction, new kind of tech that's in there, and it's really going to be exciting what they build on from this one. This here was the Puma Uproar. I never really took to this too much when it first came out. I seen that it was the All-Star colourway, the one that was kind of an orange, blue, then in the black with purple on the other side, and it was okay looking. Like, I didn't really dig the colourway. I'd never got a real representation of what the shoe could actually look like in like a clean colourway like this. Some people might like this, some people might not. Again, it's completely everyone's opinion. It was one of the things I thought, you know what, I'm going to order it. I'm going to see what the sizing's like, how it feels, blah blah. So I did. It runs big, and I found that with all the Pumas actually, they do run a wee bit big, apart from the other Puma, but we'll get to that. So yeah, I didn't really like it at first, because at that point all I had was the Clyde Court Disrupt. I think this was the first kind of real budget model that Puma had introduced. So yeah, and I left this, I never really bothered with it. I did watch reviews online and stuff, and apparently the traction was really good, and these are basically brand new. I've not tried these yet performance wise, but I will be when lockdown and all these things start to rectify and we get back to some sort of normality. It's soft on the foot in regards to when you first put your foot in. The midsole is firm, but at the same time I wouldn't say it's that much firmer to touch the Pro Foam on the Clyde Hardwood. So I think over time it'll be okay. I don't even know what this kind of foam is called. I'll need to look that up. But in regards to the way it feels, the materials, it's really synthetic. It's nice to touch, but the thing I'm a wee bit concerned about is more or less the bit at the back here. So this is more of a better view, shall we say, of the kind of energy beads and the ignite foam, and what's actually being used by Puma for the cushioning setup. And I can't make up my mind if this is just like a kind of very thin sliver that is being glued on the outside just for like aesthetic purposes, or if that actually continues on through the heel area. But ultimately, like, if you're looking for a budget basketball trainer, then going by the reviews I've seen on this, then I would go for it. This is cheap, like really cheap. I picked these brand new on eBay. I think I paid, including postage, it was £32, and that was off just somebody, it was like a brand, big brand outlet or something like that they were called. So you can get these really cheaply now. If you hang off discount codes, things like that with Puma, they do that quite regularly as well. You can pick these up next to nothing, and to be honest, if you're looking for a shoe maybe for outdoor play or anything like that, the traction feels relatively like good in the rubber compound. So to be honest, like, go for it, man. You know, like, for the price that you pay for these, and I think they look pretty good in this colourway. They're quite easy to get, so definitely recommend going with that. The one that I'm not disappointed in, I'll be honest, I really like the shoe. I just maybe don't like it as much as maybe the Clyde line, was the RS Dreamer. When J. Cole announced his partnership with Puma and doing this shoe, I mean, like this, I'm a J. Cole fan as well, so I thought, wow, this is going to be great. Aesthetically, oh, it's really nice, you know, and it could be worn as a casual trainer. Any of these could be really worn as casual trainers. So the bit of disappointment I actually had with this shoe was just a personal thing at my right foot, and putting pressure on this area specifically here at the front of the first metatarsal. There doesn't seem to be a lot of padding or some sort of protection there, so I had a wee bit of an issue with that. But apart from that, oh man, the shoe's great, you know, like the materials, the kind of material here, it's a little bit, I would say a wee bit more, I wouldn't say cheap, but definitely not as flush feeling as the two knits on the Clyde models. In regards to the actual lockdown, it's great. Actually, the lace loops coming up here get you right into the back of the heel cup as well, and it runs true to size. This one was actually decent. I did go same size as the rest of these, however it does feel a wee bit snug on the width of it. I think more that's got to do with when this kind of reminds me of a Kyrie, to be honest. When you look at the outsole coming up here for your foot dragging, very similar to the Clyde Hardwood on this part here. It kind of does the same on this side as well. Now the outsole's coming up to here, and then the midsole kind of stretches up over just to give you a little bit more lateral containment. And the laces here, the lacing system goes up, and that lace is going underneath there. So it's when you're pulling your laces in, it's going to keep you locked down at the front, which is great. But the fact of this kind of rolling protection, it kind of makes the shoe very kind of thin in this area here, a little bit narrow. You get an extra bit of kind of synthetic material on the toe, just in case you're then doing any toe dragging as well. And I think that's something that again Puma are in touch with, that for a brand that's bringing shoes on the market in an area they've not been involved in a very long time. I think that's great. They're showing a wee bit of ingenuity in regards to this new Matrix Evo tech that they're bringing in, with the different kind of materials in the different areas going with the contour of the foot. The Clyde Hardwood, the understanding of having like a nice impact protection, something with plush materials but a lot of flexion in the front part of the foot, which is important for basketball players. And then just the whole lockdown aspect with the heel cup on this, and the importance of that cushion and inside the midfoot, in the midsole, sorry. So, you know, like, there's a steady progression there, but the thing that stands out to me with the RS Dreamer, J. Cole is a big time basketball player through college and stuff. I think he had a trial with the Detroit Pistons, so I'm not sure if that's something that he's maybe just brought to the table. He said, well, listen, this is what I want from the shoe, or they've just really kind of already had the ideas. But whatever way it was, you can tell that Puma are really invested in the whole what people want from a basketball shoe, what the players want. And if you look at the players that Puma have actually sponsored, these kind of edgy players, like the Marcus Smart, you've got DeAndre Ayton, you've got Derek Jones Jr., just signed LaMelo Ball, you've got Terry Rozier. You know, like, these guys play with, I wouldn't say a chip on their shoulder, but they definitely have a different kind of dynamic. Even Michael Porter Jr., he's not the biggest in names, but he can play, you know, so it's great to see that they're actually putting all this together in the way that they're heading.
It's just a shoe!
But with the direction that Puma's going, I mean, it's hard not to be excited about it, you know. You look at their Instagram page, look at their the way they're tweeting and they're marketing all these shoes and marketing all the players that they've got sponsored through Puma Hoops. It's great, man, you know, it's really refreshing. For too long, in my opinion, Nike, Jordan, Adidas have dominated the market. You've got Lee9, you've got Anta. They're coming on the scene with some really, really interesting tech. and there's some independent brands out there as well, you know, so it's a really exciting time for basketball trainers, the direction that they're heading. But these, if you've not purchased a pair of any of the Puma basketball trainers, just do it, man. Make a recommendation. I would start off with maybe one of these two. These two, I'll play one or two on the court, and if I do, then I'll probably go with a low top. And there is other Puma basketball trainers out there, such as high tops. There's a Sky Puma, there's a Legacy, there's also the Legacy Low, which I'm looking to get a pair of them actually. I don't know if they're any good. If anyone's got any recommendations about them, please feel free to mention in the comments. But yeah, one of these two, the Clyde Hardwood or the Clyde All Pro, you'll get these on sale, which is a big bonus as well. But the fact that the way that Puma are putting all this together, yeah, they're definitely going in the right direction. So that's the end of the video. Again, this is my first video, and if you've not subscribed to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. Get any comments, any questions, feel free to message me. I'll do my best to get back to you. And in regards to Puma, yeah, give it a shot, man. Why not? I mean, for the prices that you're paying, I think these are in Go On just now for like on sale as well, because of the time of year. And again, these were really cheap off eBay, so yeah, go for it, man. Like it's well worth giving it a chance. It's an established brand with a new take on the basketball trainer, and I think that's very, very important for today's game, especially in the current financial climate as well. If you've not got the money to spend, hey, go for it, man. That's what it's all about. Again, speak to you guys in the future. If you've not hit subscribe now. And yeah, I will get some more videos up as soon as I can.